It's been a busy week covering politics here on British Stand, as every turn we make, a new scandal emerges with regards to our Prime Minister. In today's video, we will discuss why a frantic Keir Starmer is trying to desperately bury a story that can end him as the corruption claims loom. Not only that, but we will also go over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Aubrey Allegretti, chief political correspondent at The Times, has warned that Prime Minister Keir Starmer is on a slippery slope following his decision to repay £6,000 worth of gifts and hospitality, and even claimed it reeks desperation as he looks to bury this story. Speaking in her interview, Allegretti described the Downing Street statement as surprising and coming almost out of the blue. He noted that the move has rejuvenated a lot of the speculation and the criticism levied at Number 10 for their handling of the freebies saga. The correspondent highlighted that he is looking to bury the story as quick as he possibly can and believes that potentially there could be more that meets the eye. Allegretti raised questions about the partial nature of the repayments, pointing out that there are still, I think, £40,000 of freebies and hospitality that the Labour leader and now Prime Minister has accepted. He emphasised the lack of explanation for why Starmer is paying back the money for some and not others. The repayments come amid weeks of criticism over Labour accepting tens of thousands of pounds worth of freebies from wealthy donors. Speaking in Brussels, Starmer defended his decision, stating, "We came in as a government of change. We are now going to bring forward principles for donations." He added, "I took the position that until the principles are in place, it was right for me to make those repayments." The move follows Labour's promise to clean up politics if they entered government. Insiders believe that he feels guilt, that rules have not been followed, and that he is in the wrong and wants to be able to bury this story. So people move on and think, oh, look at Keir doing such a big thing and trying to make wrongs right. However, other theories suggest there is a lot more that we don't know about, and there is some corruption going on that coincides with Lord Ali being investigated. What are your thoughts on this? And why do you think Starmer only paid back £6,000? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Keir Starmer has announced the UK is giving up sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. Britain, which has controlled the region since 1814, detached the Chagos Islands in 1965 from Mauritius, a former colony that became independent 3 years later, to create the British Indian Ocean Territory. The announcement, made in a joint statement by the British and Mauritian Prime Ministers on Thursday, ends decades of often tense negotiations between the two countries over the islands. The land includes the tropical atoll of Diego Garcia, used by the US government as a military base for its Navy ships and long-range bomber aircraft. The base, used between the UK and US, will remain on Diego Garcia, is a key factor, enabling the deal to go forward at a time of growing geopolitical rivalries in the region between Western countries, India, and China. Now, the UK government said it would recognise the sovereignty of Mauritius over the Chagos Islands under a new agreement, which also secures the rights of Britain to operate a military base at Diego Garcia for at least the next 99 years. A joint statement from Sir Keir Starmer and Mauritius PM Pravind Jugnauth said, "Following 2 years of negotiation, this is a seminal moment in our relationship and a demonstration of our enduring commitment to the peaceful resolution of disputes and the rule of law." The Foreign Office said the status of the base will be undisputed and legally secure following a political agreement between the two countries. Foreign Secretary David Lammy said, "Today's agreement secures this vital military base for the future." Speaking last year, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson stressed the relationship between Britain and the US, with it used as a base during the First and Second Gulf Wars, as well as the Allied invasion of Afghanistan. The former Conservative Party leader said, "The Americans don't give us crucial nuclear secrets just because they love little old England. They don't share intelligence because they adore our quaint accents. We have a great and indispensable relationship because we have important things to offer, including Diego Garcia. Who knows what happens if we give up sovereignty? The Mauritians might cut out the middleman and do a deal with the US, and never mind the Chagosians, But then a future Mauritian government might also close the base or allow the Chinese, at the right price, to build their own runways on the same archipelago. Tory leadership hopeful, Robert Jenrick was scathing about the British Indian Ocean Territory deal. He said, "It's taken 3 months for Sir Keir Starmer to surrender Britain's strategic interests. This is a dangerous capitulation that will hand our territory to an ally of Beijing." Britain, which has controlled the region since 1814, detached the Chagos Islands in 1965 from Mauritius, a former colony that became independent 3 years later, to create the British Indian Ocean Territory. In the early 1970s, it evicted almost 2,000 residents to Mauritius and the Seychelles to make way for an airbase on the largest island, Diego Garcia, which it had leased to the United States in 1966. The World Court said in 2019 that Britain should give up control of the islands, and said it had wrongfully forced the population to leave in the 1970s to make way for a US airbase. Britain has apologised for forcibly removing more than 1,000 islanders from the entire archipelago and promised to hand the islands to Mauritius when they were no longer needed for strategic purposes. However, until very recently, the UK insisted that Mauritius itself had no legitimate claim to the islands. Lastly, Prince William has revealed he lost his voice while celebrating Aston Villa's win over Bayern Munich last night. William, who has supported the West Midlands outfit since his school days, was pictured hollering alongside a number of his inner circle as Villa secured their first home win in the Champions League, or European Cup, in decades. As the minutes went by, the Prince, alongside longtime school friends Thomas van Straubenzee and Harry Aubrey Fletcher, braced nervously as his side battled it out against the German giants. But when substitute John Duran lobbed Bayern's veteran goalkeeper Manuel Neuer from outside the box, William, and more than 42,000 Villa fans, went wild. William and friends, as well as injured Villa stars Tyrone Mings and John McGinn in the next-door box, could be seen rising to their feet in jubilation as celebrations erupted across the ground. Then, it was nerves again from the Prince of Wales as the clock ticked down before the full-time whistle broke the tension and confirmed the villains' historic win. Afterwards, the Prince said, "I've lost my voice. I can't quite believe it. 42 years. He had met former footballers who led Aston Villa to glory in 1982 European Cup final, where, again, Villa beat Bayern 1-0 before the game. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.